feminist. There's a masculine and a feminine, not feministic, but feminine energy that's completely out of balance. And the feminine energy has been downgraded and suppressed and used and abused for like throughout history. And it's happening even more now on a higher level, because if all of the women were to stop shopping tomorrow, like literally, if every single woman stopped shopping tomorrow, the entire world would collapse, because we make people money. They have been since the 1950s. It was in the 1950s they discovered that trying to sell a car and trying to sell appliances to a man was not the solution to making money. You had to sell it to the women, even though the women weren't the breadwinners. The women were the ones making the choices of what they wanted. Yeah. And then when the women, and so that changed the trajectory of commercialism and marketing. And then as soon as women started making their own money, well, guess what? Now we can make even more money, because women have not only are making the choices, they got the money to make even more choices. So then they just started bombarding us with, now we're at, well, look at that whistleblower, Frances Howley, something like that. Anyways, she was a whistleblower because she came away with documentation from Facebook that she photocopied. She actually got an award for this, I just found out, of how Meta, Facebook and Instagram had a plan to target teenagers from the age of 9 to 18 to make them feel bad about who they are, so that they could up their game on marketing, advertising of anything, everything, filters, makeup, anything and everything. And that was their game plan. The algorithms were going to change in order to adopt this attack on young women. And she exposed it before it happened. We're going to go down in history of being in the last, since the 1930s, like literally that century and this first part of this century will be when things changed. Because I do see the rise of the wise women, and women are already becoming very, I hope it comes around the marketing and trafficking of children. I hope that enough women stand up towards that, but they're all spending too much time focusing on these things. And I'm not saying that's not a focus, but I'm sorry, there's a way more children being trafficked than there are, way more, 100 million times. I believe in 2025 and 2026 is a tipping point where women are going to come out, and a lot of women in politics are going to come out and say but the media has to change, and that hasn't quite shifted yet. So people are still listening to mainstream media. And even though there's more of an abundance of information on YouTube, actually, you're not going to get the same news that you're going to get in mainstream. You have to do your research and figure out which one feels good for you. And we have to actually get to the point where it doesn't matter. And what only matters is what's in our backyard, and focusing on that. Right? So if you've got child trafficking in your backyard, get everybody and anyone who wants to help you with that, focus on that. If you've got a single mom who can't find affordable housing and that's your backyard, get involved with everybody and anybody who wants to focus on that. We can't stretch ourselves so thin, and that's what we're doing, because we're bombarded by so much information coming out left, right, and center that some of us can't do anything nor want to do anything about it, because it's not our backyard. We got to take care of our own backyard, and when we do, then we'll be happy in our little environment, and somebody else will be happy in their little environment, and somebody else will be happy in their environment, and then it'll all kind of start to blend together and make for a more peaceful world in general. But they have us distracted in a very unhealthy way for good reason. But that's not going to last forever. We're getting there. We're closer than you think.